Okay, thanks everyone for attending. We are talking about.
Let's go.
Let's go. We all know the truth. This is the panel you came for. This is the panel that is going to be amazing. We're talking about the future of hobby shops. Support your LCS.
Yeah.
So I'm Kristina. I'm Kristina from Card Ladder, and I am your moderator today. But as many of you know, there's not really a way to moderate these individuals to my left. So it's going to be a free-for-all, and we're all going to enjoy it. So I'm going to ask you all to introduce yourselves and tell us your shop or shops and where you're located, and then we'll just start ripping.
Let's go.
Did you bring wax for us to rip?
I probably can go get some in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's send a
Life
text.
fail.
I can get that.
Can we get a case of
I have 5 kids.
up
I have
here?
5 people working at the shop, the booth. We have enough.
He does. I'll buy it. Let's go.
He will.
Jimmy does buy.
I like
go.
that.
He will buy it.
Jimmy said he was buying. That's all I heard.
I'm ready.
All right, Grayson, you want to start?
Well, yeah, I came all the way from Australia. I started Cherry, which is my business, and one of Australia's biggest card shop, back in 2009, and attended my first industry summit in about 2016, where the gentleman in the front row, Mike Fruitman, was doing the Future of Hobby Stores chat, and gave me a whole bunch of good tips, which obviously worked because I'm here today. And yeah, we just... I didn't want to farm kangaroos, so I
Is that a thing?
No.
Oh, I got so excited. I was like, wait, can I go to a kangaroo farm? See, I told you guys this was going to be a fun panel. Okay, please continue.
That's about it, really. I mean, we were one of the first breakers. We were doing live breaks on YouTube early, and we've been a part of that the online revolution, which you can see from this event is just about to really expand and take off with some amazing tech and young people vibrancy.
Yes.
Awesome. I'm Jess Mineo. I'm from Bleecker Trading. A little bit about me. I collected since I was a kid. I got back into it in 2016. I joined a bunch of breaks. Became a breaker about 2 years ago. Breaks with Jess. And I started working at Bleecker about 6 months ago, and I run the shop. So we're a card shop in New York City, and we like to throw some events, some trade nights, and we've had some special guests like Jimmy.
It's a great shot.
Yeah, so throwing that up. And that's about it. Excited to be here.
You also had another trade night. Let's not forget.
The Card Ladder. We actually had that was a big one.
Rude.
We got some special talent in there too. Remember that?
Yes, I do. John Starks.
Yep, he was signing for you guys, and we had a big projector in the back.
Awesome. Yeah.
And we got to actually do some content, and I pulled the Luke out of 10.
Yes, you did.
Fun stuff.
And I let her keep it, so that was very nice of you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She's so kind. There's no
People at Card
tension.
Ladder are so generous.
They are.
Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Chris Costa, managing partner of Big Night Sports, which is a company within a broader company, Big Night Entertainment, which is the largest nightlife and entertainment company in the country. We have 18 total venues, bars, restaurants, nightclubs, and a couple of years back, me having been a lifelong collector, decided to experiment a little bit and take the sports card world that I've known and loved my whole life and the nightlife and entertainment world that Big Night has been a master of and kind of combining the two. And that has led to Big Night Sports, which includes Big Night Breaks, which is our break channel, and most relevant for this panel, Card Vault, which is our brick and mortar retail store located at Gillette Stadium, where the Patriots play, with our second location coming at Boston Garden, where the Celtics and Bruins play, and then a third location at Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut,
Meet me
the
at
largest.
Foxwoods.
That's right, the wonder of it all.
Yes.
The largest casino in the world. And many more hopefully after that, and several other businesses, including our trade show, which is the Causeway Card Show that we do at the Boston Garden once a quarter. And officially today I can announce we are May 14th and 15th going to be launching the Fenway Card Show inside Fenway Park. So a lot of exciting things happening. I'm super excited to be part of this panel. I mean, obviously some hobby legends. So wow, and looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah. right, Jimmy.
I'm gonna go to that Fenway show.
Yes, you are.
I gotta
If you're
go.
not there, we have problems.
I think I have to go too. Yeah.
Just leave Rupp Arena for me. If you can, you're doing all the other stadiums. Just leave Rupp for me.
You can have Rupp.
Okay, that's good. You guys are big boys.
I'll come. I'll wear my
Um,
Yankee jersey.
Oh yeah.
That I can't protect you.
Yeah, I would be careful in Boston
Yeah.
in a Yankee jersey.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
Just get the Antoine Walker jersey. We'll be all right.
Twan.
So my name is Jimmy Mahan. Please don't deduct IQ points from my accent. I understand what I sound like, but I'm from Lexington, Kentucky. I own a card shop there, but luckily got a great big partnership of guys like Hackler and Brian Fillmore who are here. But we have a shop in Sonoma, Dallas, Lexington, Kentucky, Bronxville, New York, a breaking studio in Jacksonville, Florida, and actually are about to open a shop in Bogota, Colombia, which sounds very odd, but I'm not a narco-terrorist. And luckily this is a panel that doesn't take itself too seriously. Like I'm sure there's been a steady stream of that today. But we are about creating shops and experiences from every time zone to time zone, and then eventually move internationally. And I don't know about myself. I've had a crazy life. Real short version. High school teacher and principal in my 20s. Started a bank in my 30s. Lived in foster care group home for 3 years with some tough stuff in late 30s. Ran a YMCA camp and then now own card shops. But the steady stream through my entire life has been cards. And I'm thrilled to be with this group.
Are you moving to Columbia?
No, but I got an apartment there.
Yeah, you
It's awesome.
I'm coming.
You gotta come.
You invited me a
I
time.
think
I'll
we
go
all
on a
got
Bogota.
invited to Australia, Colombia, and a Fenway show on this panel, and also Bleecker hosts trade nights. Mitch, how are you gonna top that?
You gotta go to Columbia.
I'm coming to Columbia.
I mean, he's
You
dressed for it.
invited
He's
me.
got no shoes.
You're invited. It's in
I'm in.
perpetuity.
Looks like he's
You're
come
invited.
from Columbia.
I'm in. Thank you, Ty. My name is Mitch Guttenberg. I own the Bullpen LA in Los Angeles. I've had it now shop for 22 years. In 2016, I brought in a partner, and she is over there. Ty has been,
Yay, Ty.
come on. And our business has grown from a small little tiny store with a couple thousand boxes to 4 stores. And there will be, by the end of the year, there will be 5, 6, and 7. We're going to go to kind of all around the country. We do breaks every night a year. This is our only. We came here. We closed our store to remodeled LA store. That will be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th days in 22 years that we've closed. We open every day, 365. We break every day from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. We have 4 6-hour afternoon shifts on Instagram. And I just love the hobby. I have no filter, so I don't. If you ask a question, you'll get a direct answer, good or bad. I'm sort of sorry, but not really. But it's great to see you guys. Grayson's been over almost 2 years.
Longer, yeah.
Yeah. Since,
His whole country's been in lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we talk once
So
in
we're
a while.
glad you made it. Yeah.
Me
That
too.
was really loud.
It was good. And good to see everybody here.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's kind of getting back to normal a little bit. And one other thing, I'm always an open book. So if anybody has any questions after, come to the booth. I would love to help anybody with stores. I have my 3 of my best people in the world are sitting in the front row. So you guys didn't
I'm
know.
up here. I'm not in the front row.
No, but
Yeah.
we go on trips together.
I'm
We
up here.
made when Industry Summit stopped, the 4 of us went on trips together.
Okay.
So
Yep, that's fine. Totally see where I place on your favorite person list.
you wouldn't come out to Vegas or Morongo.
Okay, let's start the panel.
Go.
So, what is it about the hobby that you guys are really enthusiastic about at this moment? And Grayson kind of touched on it, but let's talk about like where you are today versus where you were like pre-pandemic, and like what it was that's shifted and you see in the future, like if we had a crystal ball, what would it be that you're like, this is what I'm excited about and seeing where this is going?
I think it's the connection with that consumer, and I think that it happened when Panini moved into the space, and they were able to do customer acquisition by like taking the marketing that you would normally do as a local store in your area and expanding that globally with marketing initiatives into regions like Australia. And I think that to an extent, COVID has fast-tracked that for all of our individual shops, because we've had to work out how to connect to so many people, and it wasn't taking Jess's customer or Mitch's customer. It was about finding new customers and engaging them in this hobby.
We could go down a line, or you could just spitball. Like it is, like I said, like this is the fun panel.
Good.
I warned you all before. Like you guys are all like quiet and like serious faced right now. Like,
Not at all.
Throw stuff out there and let's
I'll-
start conversing.
I'll jump in. I
Yeah.
think what I see is the interconnectivity amongst everybody in the space kind of growing by leaps and bounds, right? We have technology platforms that we're all leveraging. We have relationships that we're all leveraging. We work with one another, sourcing product or sourcing singles or building our network and leveraging each other, right? And I think as that continues to exponentially grow, our industry continues to grow, and it grows from hobby to industry, right? And events like this didn't exist 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? And we start to see our hobby that we've all grown up with and loved our entire lives become this behemoth of a market, which is super exciting. And I think the only way that continues is for us to continue to leverage one another and continue to build upon the relationships that we're all building on a daily basis.
To piggyback on that, I think, you know what I'm most excited about is I feel like it kind of got the swift kick in the butt it needed, honestly. Like, not that there's anything wrong with it, I love it, but when all the old stores, like somebody grunts when you walk in and grunts when you leave, and there's no marketing, there's no, like, and now you see big tech players coming in, people launching the right platform. How many times do we go to shows, like maybe late 2008 to 2012, when you're spending lots of money, it's like, man, I should be able to take a picture of this card and get a price. Like, there's other technology out there. I should have a collection management tool that would be all online, so I don't have to do this. Well, now all that's coming. Like, all that's...
Only one company solved that problem for you, Jimmy.
Right.
What would we call it?
Right, like y'all, like Card Ladder, like everybody, but...
Right.
But
Card Ladder.
That's right.
Card Ladder.
Oh my God.
You guys coming in and the others that are doing other things, that's what makes me the most excited, because I worked in other industries where that was happening 15 years early, 10 years early. It's like, man, I love this hobby with all I got, and it's just so far behind. And now it's not. Now you got the people, like we were talking about this today, Hackler and Brian and I. It's like this show feels like it's got the right business people. It's got the right meetings that I can have, not just a show. I love a show where I go get cool stuff. That's great. That's not hard to find. This is harder. This feels like the step up that I've been waiting on personally. So that's what gets me enthusiastic. Clearly, I like to get enthusiastic.
I actually want to piggyback off that. So going off that, I'll talk about the hobby later, because that's my 100% passion, what I came from. But I've learned really in what I'm doing now, the partnerships. That's what I'm excited about, seeing Topps commercials. My parents are sending me screenshots of, oh, look, there's sports cards on TV. It's in the news. And I'm excited to teach the kids, because I know right now there's so many adults here. And at card show, it's an adult world right now, to trading cards, because that was our past. I'm young, but I still grew up in it. So I'm really excited for the partnerships, like you talked about, and just connecting more, and also teaching the kids. So I want it to still be a hobby where it can bring the kids in. I want to teach them learning about not only the cards, but their investments and how they can make a future of it, just like I made a future of my collection. So I think I'm really excited about that, for sure.
This show, at least the people that are here want to work, want to make better. You go to other conferences and other things, and it's the same stuff. There's no new content. I want to continue to push manufacturers, distributors to be better. Let's not be good, let's be great is the slogan that I use all the time when I break. Is let's not pull a good card, let's pull a great card. And this feels much better than what it has been over the last. There's more money coming in, which good or bad money, I don't know. But if you work hard, you'll get better. And let's actually make this industry great. Not good, not mediocre. Put your head down and work. And you'll make the connections. You'll make it. But the people that want to sit back and just sit back at their shop and don't get up every morning to say hello, you're not going to survive.
You're not gonna make it.
Yeah, I mean, past shows have felt like they were just mainly focused on growing your collection, right? Growing your collection, buying, selling, and trading. And this show, it feels like you can really grow your business, right? You can make meaningful connections, meaningful networking, and like Mitch said, it's a room full of people that want to work and want to make things change and shake and shift. So that's what I'm super excited about, is kind of seeing the industry as a whole, or at least a large portion of the industry, make an effort to push in that direction.
All right. You're welcome.
Are we
No, I'm
done?
kidding. So on behalf of Collectible, IMG, Card Ladder, Bullpen, Hobbyist, Omaha, who else? eBay, you're welcome. As sponsors of this event. Let me stop. I do not have this big of an ego, I swear. Okay. What is it in your shop that, like, I know this sounds similar to the last question, but what is it in your shop that you're focusing on right now, like to reach people and build partnerships, but like in the actual shop? Like not just you as a businessman and woman, but like in the shop, what are you focusing on?
Yeah, we're buying a van to get out of the shop.
Really? Like an ice cream truck, but for cards? I'm listening.
Mr. Have Mr. Whippy over here, like ice cream.
Softy.
Mr.
Isn't it?
Softy.
Yeah, Softy. Yeah.
Wouldn't have gone with that.
No sexual.
A what? Wait, a what?
Yeah,
An
I
ice
wouldn't
cream.
I wouldn't have chosen
Yeah,
to either.
exactly.
All
To
right.
be honest, is it
Whippets?
like an ice cream
Is that what
truck?
you're-
Yeah,
is that what you're doing? Do whippets in the?
Yours is Mr. Softy. Stop. There's nothing.
There's a cultural
Anyway.
divide here. Yeah.
Really?
So-
Ice cream truck? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ice
Those
cream
are
truck,
fine.
but for cards.
Bingo.
About 10 years ago.
Love the idea.
About 10 years ago, I had a bunch of customers who were in movies and doing dolly grips, best boys, and I literally at one point was going to close my shop and turn it into a motorhome that literally would drive around to movie sets if we had enough customers to literally park in front and then like, listen, I got an hour, let me come and run. And we got close to it, and one of the shows didn't get picked up, and I'm like, okay, I can't do this.
So basically, he says that he already thought of that idea.
No,
And-
it didn't work, so no,
And
not
it
for me.
didn't work. So,
not for me.
sorry.
Fine.
No, really.
No, so we're going to do that. We're going to try to, and that's about connecting with customers a different way. We want to increase our content, make more content like Mitch. We currently have breaks, but we want to do a lot more stuff that's more entertainment. I think that space, I think some people, and they're probably in this room, they're definitely in this building, are going to take breaks to mainstream television.
Like chasing down a kangaroo.
Yeah, like
Get
just
the-
like
get the-
just
get the
like
van.
Steve Irwin did. Yeah, right. Yes.
How'd that work out
Only
for
to
you?
you, Mitch,
R.I.P.
and
Yeah.
Contenders football. Yeah. So I think that's what we're planning to do.
Okay.
Okay. So everything basically Bleecker does is to elevate the hobby. There's a lot of new stuff we have going on with partnerships. With Zero Cool, we have something coming out, so keep your eyes peeled. We've
Wait,
partnerships
I was
with,
promised you were going to make an announcement at the show.
so it's
Is it
coming.
now?
We're gonna push it back a little bit because we want to tease it a little bit. So if Zero Cool, if you check out the, I know, if you check out the cards, there's something we have as a hobby shop that's really special that we get to partner with them and do. So I'm really excited to announce that. It's something with the Jackass cards that are coming out. There you go. The
There we
Jackass
go.
cards. So
Sounds
we have
like you
involvement
just
there.
announced
I did announce it. So
It's okay,
Bleecker has
Josh announced it
some
earlier, too.
some involvement with that, and it's really exciting. So I'm excited to see where that goes, as well as the trade nights. We want to amplify that and bring more people from the hobby. We want to have guest breakers, do shop takeovers, and then in store we're also on a live shopping platform. So there's so many apps, there's so many ways that we're able to do this. And we're exploring those. So we're newer in this scene. We have one card shop. We're actually going to be expanding to Cleveland. That's breaking news. So Bleecker will be in Cleveland soon. And yeah, I'm like, yay. Because one of our investors, Deshaun Watson, just got signed for Cleveland Brown, and he wants to work out of Bleecker Trading. So we're bringing it to him. And that's our first expansion. So we want to keep doing that. And again, we want to elevate the hobby experience. So our trade nights, and even in store, we're making it more of a lounge. So the biggest thing that I feel is important as every day that I do is make people who come into the shop feel like they're having an experience versus going in and buying a box of cards and just leaving. We invite them to sit and stay. And I think that's what we need in this hobby is, all of your card shops, I know you're reinventing them to be more of a chill atmosphere.
Yes.
And invite the people to come in and relax. Invite the kids to look through the boxes. And actually bring a community versus just a brick and mortar come and go kind of place. So that's what I'm excited about and what we're doing to elevate the hobby right now.
Yeah, so for us at Card Vault, the main focus right now is the technology that supports the business, because I think to do all of the things that we want to do at the customer level, to provide the customer experience that we want to provide, we have to be able to be streamlined and optimized in the back end from an inventory management perspective, from a POS perspective, and to be able to scale our brand to all the stores and locations that we want, which you guys are probably familiar with a lot of these challenges, is how do we make sure that the software and the technology that supports the business allows us to do that and not create a negative pull on the customer experience. So we're we're hyper focused on the technology that's backing our business so that we can continue to expand without detracting from that experience.
So it's interesting. It's a little different. It's a lot like Jess. We always say elevate the hobby constantly. But it's different when you have a shop and you're not in LA or New York, right? It's a lot harder in some ways to do this. So we focus constantly on being transformational versus transactional. How do we create the space for that to happen? And in the little towns where you got to really work at creating that community because you don't have 8 million folks. So part of it is all of our shops are to be destination shops. It's almost like half museum, half card shop, where people just want to be there and see and stay and hang out. That same concept. Our next shop, we're expanding in Kentucky, and it's like, I want to put a coffee bar in here and couches for the moms and dads that are just there to wait. Like me at JCPenney with my wife or something. Like, God, just give me a cup of coffee and a comfortable seat. And then it's like we have a headquarters across the street. It's going to be more private than public offices, but so we don't need a parking lot. Okay, well, it's across the street from the shop. I'm going to put in a basketball court and 10 yards of turf, and so kids can use it to play. And then we can do signings over there and events, and then come back over to the shop later. But all year round is going to create that. So it's, yes, you can buy your cards here. That is great. But there's a lot of old guy, tell the young guy a story, because it's a lot different than it used to be in collecting. Young guy, tell the old guy story, because it's not the same now. And it's not buy your stuff and leave. It's if you buy something great, but just come in and stay. And then we know your kids, we know your grandparents, we know your nephews, all of that, and it creates that second person talking to you. Like, we can always give a pitch about what we do and what we run, but it's that person that came in, had that experience, and then talks to the next person. Like, they're great. They're not going to upset you. Just go in there and hang out, and then eventually they'll become customers too. But creating that where it is organically enthusiastic, right, about what you're doing. And that's what we're trying to create across the country.
For us, for our big store in Westchester, we used to do trade nights. We have 2,600 square feet. And then somebody, I won't mention who, loves to buy. So we expanded our wall, cases, boxes, and it kind of just got taken over on the tables and chairs. And with COVID, we had to get rid of all our breaking tables for people to come in and sit down. We now have stools in front. We just spent a bunch of money redoing our store to make the experience. And you walk in, and we always call it the wall of wax, and it's now 12 feet tall, 72 feet long, and it is stuffed. There was not a hole in that wall when I get back. So everybody comes in, and the first thing you just, and there's, my guess, there's probably 30,000 boxes now in the store.
I've been that guy that walks in. I'm like, oh my God, it's got everything but Berlin Wall graffiti on it. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Alcatraz, the wall of Alcatraz.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
Unbelievable.
So it's a wall that keeps people in and out. It's a prison
People
wall.
just sit there and must watch, like, you have everything. Yeah, we just want to continue to make sure. My biggest fear is always a customer comes in and asks for a product and we don't have it. In the last 4 or 5 years, it drives me nuts. If there's a hole in the wall, no. I won't like sleep until I fill that wall with that hole. I'm really bad with that.
That's what my heaven looks like.
Yeah, seriously. I have dreams about like being accidentally locked in Bullpen for like a night and just like ripping through that wall.
Is
Like,
Mitch there?
No, yeah.
It's worth seeing. If you're that, go see it.
It's
like the kid fantasy of like I got locked in the mall and I got to like eat the pretzels and jump on the beds.
Yeah.
And, like that my new okay.
They just unlock in the morning and you're passed out with
They're like-
wrappers.
Just wrappers everywhere.
all around, like a
Base
bed of wrappers.
cards.
Yeah. All
like-
the Maxi Klebas on a pile on the other side, and like I could tell you guys, like
Yeah.
you can sell all the other things, like
But that's and for me, that's bringing me so much joy to watch these people come in and just like I did my job today. And when the store closes and we're breaking on night and we'll run out of something, you better believe I am immediately, doesn't matter if it's 10, 11, 12, midnight, 1, I am texting people from East Coast to West Coast trying to buy more product because I just have to have it. And people around the country know that. So,
You text me. I'm in Australia. You
yeah.
text it.
Like, Grace, do you have that? Yeah. Get it out to me.
yeah. Well, it's like the middle of the day for you by that point, right? So
It's still weird.
I probably gave you heartburn at some point asking for college stuff in LA. Oh my God.
And then you bought it and I was like, I'm out. Shit. I mean, but I believe after he left, I was like, I gotta go find more of it. I can't be out of something. So, but this industry is amazing. It is. So,
it is. I say all the time, like, I used to have a job that I hated, and like I would dread going to work. And then once I started working for Card Ladder full time, like I was a founder, but like didn't like work full time, like still had a real job while we were like getting off the ground with tech startup. And I was the last one to quit because I'm so risk adverse. And but like when I finally quit and like started doing Card Ladder full time, it was like I don't have to go to work anymore. I get to go to work. Right. And that like whole mindset shift like meant like everything just started clicking into place, where it's like people don't realize how like fortunate they are when they're in this industry. Yes. And it's something they're passionate about and they love doing and they love talking to people and like meeting other collectors and getting to just play with cards all day. And it's like, in what world, like
talking about sports, movies,
like
trivia.
Right.
I mean, what else could I have ever come up with in my wildest dreams to do what I love to do?
I mean, we hang out in card stores every day for a living.
Yeah.
A show
Okay.
in Fenway Park.
It's a joke.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like that's
Vegas.
Yeah, we're in Vegas right now at a casino, like talking about cards. Like all of you could be on the casino floor betting on like the NCAA this weekend and like enjoying life. I think,
Whoops.
yeah, and like it, like the way other people enjoy life, and we're all here, and we're having so much more fun than you guys,
Like,
and it's just
like everybody goes, don't you want to take a day off? Like, why? What am I gonna do with my day off?
yeah.
Like,
Buy cards.
Yeah, like I'm gonna look up cards.
100%.
And, like,
Rip.
yeah.
I get up every morning at about 5:30 or 6, and I get to my. I bought a house in Westchester right by my store, and then Ty and I bought a store in Burbank. And we didn't have anybody to run it, so okay, I'll go to Burbank every day. So I leave my house at 6, get to Burbank, work until 8 when we close, then drive down to LA and buy and make sure everything's running right until 1:30, go to the other gaming store, see there for half an hour, and then go home by 2. And back up and do it again. I was like, take a day off. Why? What am I gonna do? I'd be like sitting in my house and going, okay, I watch 3 TV shows. What am I gonna do?
Right.
I'd be on my phone, like texting everybody, like, you got any product? F1 Chrome?
I don't think that's technically a day off, though. I think that's like the point, right? Like, we're literally saying, if I had a day off, I would still choose to do what I do.
Right.
So what's like, I'm okay with working every day.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because I get to work in this industry.
Yeah.
And it's a different mindset than a lot of people in like corporate America, where they're like, I have to go to work, and like 5 o'clock comes around and I like punch out and I go to the bar and I go to the movies and I go do what I want to do after I've worked
Or
to
maybe
live.
just go to a card store.
Or
Yeah.
you go to the card store.
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, my day
I've
off.
had people on my Instagram say like, this guy's always too happy all the time. There's got to be a
Something's wrong.
It's got to be a shtick or something. It's like, wait a second. My feet hit the floor, and I work in cards. Like, oh God, I gotta post another joke, girl. Like, no, it's great. This is real. This is natural.
Yeah.
And I've worked in those jobs where it's hard and difficult and all that. Like, yeah, this is authentic.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like, yeah, I can't, like, if you're not in the hobby full time, why aren't you in the hobby full time at this point? Like, when I talk to people and they're like, oh, like, I'm doing this, and I'm like, why? Like, like, why would you do that to yourself? But yeah, so
It
Why
takes
have
a
a
lot of
boss?
work. It
does.
does.
No, it does.
It's not all,
no,
like you gotta get busted,
yeah.
but I'd rather bust it doing this
Yeah.
and then walk into my shop and see this kid's life change because some older guy gave him his dream card than anything else.
Yeah.
Just to go off that, I'm new in this, so I've just recently, I started being full-time in the hobby. I got the chance to be a breaker about 2 years ago, and I was doing that in a job I hated. And my pure joy was out of breaking, opening up cards for people. And now I'm with Bleecker, and I get to do that every day. And then at night I can go home and break too, and it's engulfed my life, and I love it. And just to, be able to experience that and have the opportunity, it's hard work. It's a ton of hard work. I'm going through a ton of obstacles, time management, money. We're a startup. Bleecker just started being open 7 days a week a few months ago. And it's every day I get texts at 5 a.m. about inventory, about new products coming out, what margins here or there. Even with breaks, I still care so much about my customers. I never want to let them down. And yet we're building an empire in New York City.
Yeah.
And it's so important because I'm authentic and I'm lucky to be here with legends and to have been given the opportunity to start breaking and to have, the people who back me and who support me and who are here in this room, who are here for me and this hobby. And it's very moving, and it's something that I dreamed of, and I'm living it. So just to go off that, I'm just entering it, and through the hard times and the sleepless nights and the 12-hour days nonstop, it's worth it, and I didn't know it's just gonna pay off. So
You raised your eyebrows. Did you have something to say?
And it just raised.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a
Okay. I was
strange
just,
thing.
I like, you looked right at me and you were like,
I'd actually like a holiday, to be honest. I couldn't care less.
He's looking for a
No,
quad.
there's legends
We
in
talked
the room.
about
I mean,
kangaroo, so now it's quad.
yeah, you talk about legends. There's legends in the room. Like, see, ComSeed, when I first went to a summit in 2016, like, that was the tech. That was the amazingly innovative thing that was being built. And now it's a juggernaut. It's amazing the way they're able to process that customer service is incredible. And Tracy, when I started, he literally was the face of content throughout the hobby, whether it was stuff being broken, reviews and stuff like that. Steve, literally the reason that supplies were in Australia through COVID. I couldn't get them anywhere else. So there's people in this building, and Mike, of course, I see as the face of hobby shops, full stop, from my perspective. So,
Yeah, he's just got to grow his beard out of it. It just looks terrible.
and they've come through a period where it was probably really difficult to wake up and go to work because there wasn't the same level of passion and positivity that there is now.
Right.
So I feel as though there's still a huge amount to be learned from those people to understand what it's going to be like 5 years from now.
Very well said.
5 years.
I will say, if I get a day off, I'm going to Bullpen.
Always welcome.
You should see
Come
the
have a
wall.
drink. Come have a drink with us.
Go to the wall.
Yeah.
I'll
Just
meet,
if you pour beer into a red cup, it's just a frosted soda.
Okay.
I'll meet you there.
See ya.
Yeah.
He just wants a sail. Don't fall for it, man.
It's unbelievable. I've been sucked in already.
You owe Jimmy a commission when he sells, like,
Always.
yeah.
I
okay.
mean, the first time Jimmy came to the store, I wasn't there. I was with you guys. And Jimmy came in, I'm like, Jimmy's here. Shit. Oh, sorry, not really. And I'm like, get on Instagram. I'm like, wow, this sucks. And Jimmy's walking around like, where's Mitch? I'm like, oh.
It was awesome though, but
But it was just, Hooster broke, one of the managers for LA was breaking, and he was having a blast. And you left, and he's like, you guys are really happy. He's 100% salt of the earth, always honest, and we have had such a great relationship, you and I.
yes,
And it just has grown. And again, we talked about Tracy, who has got the biggest grin on his face now.
yes.
And Steve Tigwell, who is just out from Columbia, supplies-wise, is just, he made all of us. If you're friends with Steve, if you're not, go find him. Steve, raise your hand. There you go. Supplies Cardboard Gold saved us all so much, and that we had penny sleeves and top loaders. When COVID happened, he made sure we had it. And that was a huge part.
It goes to the cool thing. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're good.
But like when I got within 4 hours of LA, I was like, I've got to go to Bullpen. It's what this next thing has become is, even if you don't have like a cool floor in your shop or whatever, that doesn't matter. It's because now I've got to go to the shop at the Patriots Stadium. Oh my God, Fox Gillette. I've got to go to Bullpen. I've got to get to these places and see it, because I've seen so much of it online, and it's worth my time to get there, to see these legends, to see these people. God knows I'll be in Australia at some point coming to your shop.
I'm coming to Columbia.
Oh man,
Anybody want to come?
let's go.
Go.
Trust me, everything's a fifth of the price. You'll love it.
Are you paying
including the
Mitch?
cards?
Because-
Yes. That's a whole nother thing. But that's another part of all this on the theme of where it's going next is, yeah, like if you were a car collector 20 years ago, you travel, you'd look up, is there a car shop nearby that I can go? I'm on this family vacation and God, I need to rip something. But now it's like, oh, I'm going to Indy next week. I've got to go see Andy. I'm going to St. Louis. I got to go see RBI. I'm going to go. Like, I'm there for other things, but now I can go to those shops that I've watched so much online. And I think that's a cool development that is relatively new.
Destination places.
Destination
Yeah,
places.
so-
Huge.
Yeah. So
Capitalize on it. Capitalize.
in the summer of 2019, Chris and I had 2 weeks break between like when he finished his externship and then when he had to start law school, like the new semester. And I took 2 weeks off from work, and we actually did the Pacific Northwest card store tour. And we met Steve, who hadn't even opened his shop yet. He was like 2 days away from opening, and he let us in, and like we bought stuff. And we traveled up from LA, the Pacific Northwest, and hit between Portland and right outside, up to Seattle, 14 card shops in like 7 days or something like that. And it was crazy, and it was amazing. And that was our vacation that year.
Yes.
Like that was the entire, like that was what we planned for our vacation was, you know, like one income household, law student. Like we couldn't afford to do much, but we drove up to Seattle and hit all these card shops and met all these people, and it was really fun. And back when we first started one of the podcasts, House of Jordans, like we had the segment called the Card Store Tour. That was like a big joke of how you pronounce tour.
Right.
Yeah, like whatever. And I still get yelled at because I can't pronounce it. But but like it was a segment where I would talk about the shop that we had recently visited, and it's important to me because I always, like, as a collector, my Instagram started as a place where I would document what shops we were going to so that other people can see what shops are around during our travels. And so I can't wait to go see the Vault and the Roadshow, and maybe one day I can get Chris on a plane and we can fly down to Australia, but otherwise I'll go with Jess and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Girls trip.
Yep. I'm down.
And like, you know, it's really important to me because like that is the foundation of the hobby. That's where people are introduced to cards, like little kids. That's where like you go after a Sunday, like a Saturday t-ball game or a soccer game. Like you go and you rip packs, or you go and look at cool cards that you wish one day you can own as a little kid. And that nostalgia is super important in bringing people back to the hobby when they have that disposable income, when they hit like 30 years old, and they can like start going after those chase cards that,
Right.
you know, they saw so-and-so hit like one day at a shop, or
No doubt.
this was always in the case and I was drooling over. Like DJ Ski was in here and he said in like the previous panel that like when he was a kid in Minnesota, he wanted that Ken Griffey Jr. card and of the Upper Deck, and it was $100, and he would just stare at it in the case when he would go to card shops.
Oh yeah.
And like that is the future of the hobby, right? Like that kid who comes back, which is a common theme that we hear when we're talking to collectors of, I took a break like during high school, and then after college, or once I got my first job, like I came back to cards. And like, yeah, so I think it's really, what you guys do is a vital like lifeblood of the hobby. And I just want to thank you guys for coming on here and talking with us, because it's like, yeah, this is right up here with art to me, like card shops.
Yeah.
And like it's super important, like yeah.
Well, I think one of the biggest benefits that we get as shop owners or operators is that we get to see it with our own eyes in real time, the new blood coming into the hobby, right? We see them coming in the door, we see them coming back through the door, we see them bringing their friends. The groups that come in grow and grow and grow, and it's word of mouth, and you see the hobby spread organically right before your eyes, whereas a lot of online businesses or other types of businesses don't get to see it in real time. We hear about it and we see it through social media and whatnot, but in the shop, in the trenches, we see the new blood coming into the hobby, and it's really encouraging because it's growing, and it's growing exponentially, and the new blood coming in, it's an exciting group. It really is.
The DJ Ski comment that you made was interesting because I remember going into a card shop in the 90s in Tasmania, which is an island underneath Australia. And I opened my first packet and I got a Jordan behind the glass from Upper Deck Special Edition, maybe. And it was a beautiful card, stunning card. Everyone in this room is. And anyway, I sold it to the card shop owner. He gave me some packs, and I didn't look it. But when I opened my store in 2015, someone came in and they sold me a really cruddy one, like really shit. But I bought it and I stuck it on the cash register, because you have bad days, and I'd come out and I'd look at it and it'd remind me, like, okay, this is good, this is where it started, and it'd realign it. And then just during the boom, 2019, 2020, I managed to buy a PSA 10 behind the glass. It cost me a fortune, and it showcased to me that kind of the passion obviously is at the core of all of this, whether you're a collector, an owner, but the stages of it too. At some point in time, maybe I'll meet Jordan. I don't know. Like, it keeps developing. I think it's really beautiful.
Do you guys have a Grail card that you like would one day like to own, or if you came across it, you wouldn't like? It'd be like a sell my collection to have card.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the champ ticket Brady. Just grew up in New England. My whole I'm 33. My whole childhood, my whole adulthood has been Tom Brady. He's who my personal collection is centered around. It's a lot of what we do in the shop, being in New England. Then the champ tickets, by far his best rookie. That's the card.
Real for me too. I'm just a Kentucky kid. I would say actually I've got a unique one. It's a Satchel Paige, the Leaf rookie, I believe it is. 48. The 48 with the yellow background. I read a book on Satchel Paige. This is how this stays with you, right? When I was 11, he became a hero. And then you're like, oh, there are only 3. I want a card of Satchel Paige. And then there are only 3 of them, and they're not cheap when I was 11 or now. And I've gotten the other ones, the 53 tops and the 49 Bowman, but that's a big boy, and that's what I'm waiting on. And I actually got to go to it's the Negro League Baseball Hall of Fame in Kansas City. I've been 3 or 4 times and met the president and all that. Now I very much like to be able to get that, and even if I got a great one, to let them showcase it there, and that's a special one. But yeah.
Mine is, you'll laugh, Grayson, is my Steve Irwin. I have a Crocodile Hunter Beckett 9.5 autograph, and someone sent a picture of it, and I said, I want it. It's like, well, we haven't even talked price. I'm like, I don't give a real rat's ass, just send it to me. Right. And then I was like, okay, I got to find the wife. And that took me months to try to find that. And finally someone goes, I know somebody who wants this card. And you just literally send it. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm paying for it, but I'll just send you money. And those are the 2 cards that just are not going anywhere.
You can't fake that feeling.
Yeah.
On that story. You can't.
No, I was trying to get it.
Right. Like, it's real. And it doesn't matter what age you are or what you do. Like, that's the beauty of it.
I'm an animal lover, and he was what we are. His excitement, what he did every day for television, is exactly what we do.
Correct.
And we don't have to put our hand in an alligator stung by a stingray, R.I.P. But
Great Danes.
Yeah.
What about you?